Like he's an actual. He didn't just kill a puppy. This man is a serial killer. Like and to me, those are one of the worst people to ever exist. Right? Undoubtedly.
Yes. Not just to you, to most people. Like, yeah, don't just like say no.
Contrary to popular belief, I think serial killers are not cool. That's just me. That's not cool.
Not cool.
But yes, ladies and the gentlemen and the ladies once more time, because why not? We're here. We're back.
Why not?
Once again. Welcome to the Chilli Penguins podcast. I am Jobadiah Tannhaus.
Hello.
And as always with me, shout out.
Hello, people. You've got Pies in the 7th here. How are you doing today?
I'm alright. It's hot. How's the weather? It's hot here, bro. It's so hot. It's insane.
Raining, bro. It's raining. We had
time,
bro. It's one of those weird rains, like, because we're coastal. It would rain like it's trying to release all the water in the clouds in as little time as possible, and then it would stop.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that is cool though. I like rain. I like rain.
Give me rain anytime. It's so hot here. My soul is melting. That's how hot it is.
Not your soul, Bill.
My soul. My heart. So, speaking of souls.
Yeah, no, you can keep that heat, bro. Wow. Well
Listen,
done.
I was about to do a fantastic segue. Just when I talk about you can keep the heat. You know what? I was saying, speaking of souls, today we are talking about one of the most soul-crushing movies. Ooh, see that wordplay in there right there?
See what you did? I literally saw it as it was happening.
Shakespeare
I saw the metaphor
bars
coming forth. Not he wished.
Right now. Where's Shakespeare from? England? Shakespeare is telling an English grave. I have no idea where Shakespeare is from. Oh my god, that's embarrassing.
That is English grave.
Anyway, shout out to Shakespeare, man.
Shout out Shakes.
Hold on.
Because I know him like that. We cool like that.
Did you call him Shakes? This man called Shakespeare Shakes.
We cool like that.
I've been alive for 27 years. I've never heard anyone shorten Shakespeare's name to Shakes. Shakes? You call him Shakes?
Bro, listen.
Like he's a football player.
Y'all don't know Shakespeare like I know Shakespeare. Y'all don't know Shakespeare like I know Shakespeare.
Shout out to
Him and I are boys. You go way back.
Shout out to my boy Shakes. He been dead for a while, but he'll be I'm holding it down, Shakes.
I'm holding it down for you, Shakes.
He is English. Oh, well, it was right. Anyway.
Yeah. He's turning in his English grave right now, like, look at these.
We're talking about I Saw The Devil, a Korean horror action film from 2010.
2010s, bro.
Yes.
One thing, this film holds up. This film actually holds up.
It holds up everything.
I think other than like the old phones that they use, like the whole slide up.
It was hilarious.
And, like,
I'm like, what?
But even that, because like
there was a time where there was sliding and flip phones. I forgot about that.
Yeah. But like that aside, you could drop that movie today and it would feel relevant. It would not even feel relevant. It would feel like it was made today.
And it would still... Because you know how some movies, like, for example, a horror movie from the 80s, you watch it right now, you're like, that's not scary at all. What are you scared of that? And
not even a bit.
Like, we watched Psycho in film school and we were like, okay, it's a dude with a knife. That's terrifying. People in the 60s. That's like, that's the guy. 60s.
That's the guy you're scared of? Okay, cool. I guess.
And some movies they are off of the time.
Yeah.
And this one, as you're saying, man, it's universal and it will hold up.
Bro, this one really holds up. But before we get into deep, can you give us the IMDb short?
Yes. So, according to IMDb, by the way, don't you think we should fully subscribe to IMDb and not use the free version? I want to be that guy. I want to have like an IMDb account. Yes.
You want to be that guy?
Serious.
You know, I'm one step ahead of you. I've already downloaded
That's
the IMDb app.
okay.
I've got the app on my phone.
I'm gonna get the app too. It's free.
It is.
Apparently, if you have an IMDb account, you get some software, 50% off, something like that.
You do? Oh,
Yeah,
okay. I didn't know that.
Cool.
I always wondered why people would subscribe to IMDb.
That's my next goal.
Like, what do you?
According to IMDb, a secret agent exacts revenge on a serial killer through a series of captures and releases. Ooh.
Damn.
That's a very accurate line. I'm gonna say that. It literally says exactly what happens in the film. It's not trying to be creative or poetic or what. It's literally what happens in the film.
Yeah, that's what happens.
Beauty in simplicity.
I mean, I can give you like a slightly, whatchamacallit, a slightly drawn out overview. But I mean, I get that literally that IMDb statement is exactly what happens.
Yes.
But to give more context, it's basically a secret agent seeking revenge on a serial killer after the serial killer murders his fiance, who happened to be pregnant with their child. That's bro, and it's like that alone of it like it gives you like, okay, this is kind of seeming like a thriller, like maybe an investigation. It goes into like
it goes there.
I was confused. Yeah. It goes there, yeah, because I was confused at like halfway, not even halfway, like 30 minutes in, and I'm like, wait, I feel like this movie, according to the description, this movie should end in the next 5 minutes, because 30 minutes in, Bro catches the guy
and releases the guy. So I'm like, why are we here then?
Yeah, so I'm like, you put the guy, you kill him, end of movie, we go home, bye bye. But no, I'm like, we still have, because this movie's like 2 hours and change. So I'm like, what the hell's happening for the rest of the movie? But like, it becomes a gruesome cat and mouse game that just evolves into something like a lot darker.
Oh, yes.
And yeah, the writing in this, bro.
It's one of those movies where I think it's one of those movies where on paper it's not that exciting. If you think about it. About it, on paper, it's one of those movies that don't sound as exciting. Because if you have a film with a guy trying to catch a serial killer, usually those movies have a lot of twists and turns and reveals and everything. But this, just based on the line and the description, I think the simplicity of the story is evident, but what happens is what adds texture to the film, because you're saying it turns gruesome. I think if it wasn't R-rated or as gruesome, it would have failed dismally. Not even close.
Oh yeah. What the R rating did, and part of me was like, because I watched this thing in the morning, bro. So
wait,
what
you
it
say
did
you watched
for
this
me
thing
is
at the mall?
It didn't feel in the morning.
Okay.
Not at the mall. Hell no. It made it real.
Made it?
Real, like very real. Yeah, and I mean, I'll speak more about that later when I talk about like some of the themes and stuff. But it just the violence. I've seen a lot of films with violence. I'm no stranger to violence, bro. But some of the scenes, I kid you not, I was partially looking away. I was actually in my grown age looking away.
And they stay. When we talk about directing, we're gonna touch on that. They still like, look at it, you look at that, and you're like, no, look at you, fucking look at it. They make sure there's you see this, which is one of the things that I respect about Korean filmmakers. They don't shy away from things. They don't.
Yeah, they don't give a fuck. Like you're gonna watch this, and they stay on some of the scenes, bro.
What's the word?
I want to say they don't sugarcoat brutality.
Exactly. You read my mind. Get out.
Yeah.
Before you start saying some other things. Sugarcoat. You don't try to make it easy for you to digest. Or what? Actually, there are some parts in the movie where they cut away and you think, oh, they're not gonna go back. And they're like, nah, we're going back. And you're like, oh no.
Nah, bruh. So you thought.
Because for example,
back to
if a movie shows a guy, let's say, getting stabbed in the face, for example, we'll cut to the reaction of the guy stabbing the guy, and then we'll cut to say the guy on the floor, and then the stab on the face will be alluded to. Maybe he's holding his face with the blood, or he's on the floor and the blood is coming. And you're like, oh,
yeah.
Two and two together. This guy is like, oh, what? You think, you think I'm not gonna show you? Oh, hold on.
No.
Not only am I gonna show you, I'm gonna stay on it. And you're like, okay.
It's like, hold my beer. Let me show you what I'm talking
The
about.
beer is warm for crying out loud. Go back to the beer. It's like, nah, look at it. Oh, it's so good.
Look at it. Bruh. This film, there's a lot in this film. But like, script-wise, and yeah, actually, yes. Talk to.
Oh, you want me to, after practicing names for 45 years, you want me to say, nah, this is on you. This is on you. Fine. This is on you.
God damn it. First of all, this film is directed by Kim Jee-woon. I think he's directed a few other things that
I know he
we would know.
A Tale of Two Sisters. Which is
A Tale of Two Sisters. Okay. I'm not familiar with that. But I've heard of it. I've heard of what's it called? Bittersweet Life. A Bittersweet Life. I've heard of that one. Yeah, but I'm just going through. He's got quite a few films in his discography. The Good, the Bad, and the Weird, Cobweb, The Age of Shadows. Some good titles actually. I'm gonna look into some of these.
I saw A Tale of Two Sisters, and when they talk about Korean horror, they do not mess around. This thing is terrifying. This thing, I remember when I watched it, and I was like, okay, you know how you watch a movie and you have biases on it, and you go in and you're like, oh, I want to see what the people are crazy about, and you're like, oh, I'm underwhelmed because now it's not. I went into this, I'm like,
yeah.
I left, I was like, I see.
Like I see.
This is how bad it is. I don't remember anything about the story of this. I'm not even gonna lie. I don't remember anything about the story, but I remember being shit scared watching it. Yes.
Oh yeah. Some
scares and some creative scares. That's another thing. Remember when we talked about Gonja Masala, when we mentioned that Korean, they have good jump scares and scares.
Yeah.
Very creative. So yeah, it's also
One of the things I notice about Korean films is that they don't necessarily follow the normal structure that a lot of Hollywood films follow.
Yes.
Which is something that I really like. The directors don't give a fuck about your strategy. They're like, nah, this is, if we want to go then do things this way, we're gonna do things this way.
All the time.
Yeah. I really like that about them. But yeah, continuing with the cast, we've got Lee Byung-hun, which should be a familiar name to a lot of you people because this man is in Squid Game.
He is in Squid Game? Apparently black people say Squid Games, there is no S. I learned that. You just said Squid Games, I'm like, oh, so it's true. Apparently there's no S. Can we see if there's really no S in Squid Game?
Squid Game.
See?
I don't think
there's
so,
no
actually.
S. So for some reason
I feel like we feel like there should be an S, so we just put one there anyways. Like, why isn't there an S there? You know, it's like multiple games, so it should, it makes sense.
We just ran with it, and the characters like, it's one game, it's a Squid Game, and we're like, nah, it's games. We know this more than you, directors.
Nah, it's games, bro. Listen, you do the movie, we'll take it from here.
Thank you.
We'll take it from here. Let me the show. Yeah, we appreciate it, but we've got this. Lee being the detective, or the special agent rather. Yeah, because when I was watching, I'm like, this guy's familiar. I know his face, but it's younger here. But that we got to see a lot of him in season 2. Season 3 we'll see a lot more, I'm hoping. But the other main is Choi Min-sik. You should recognize him from
he's a heavyweight.
The old boy, or old boy rather. Yeah, heavyweight. Like he's, I mean, yo. And in this film, yes, this man. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I just, yeah. We also have Oh Son Ha, and then we've got Cheon Ho Jin, Jeon Guk Hwan. Bro, listen, you're gonna have to forgive me. I'm doing my best here. Doing my best. We've got a few others. We've got Kim In Seo, Kim Hyun Seo, Chae Yang Yoon. But like our main actors, I wanna just go back to our main two with Lee Byung-hun and Choi Min-sik. I mean, I feel like these two carry heavily.
Yes.
I mean, as they should have. It literally, the film was on their shoulders, and they
delivered 100%.
They took us there. Yeah. No, they took us there. But yeah, I mean, who wrote this?
Who's a sick bastard there? Show yourself.
Who's sick bastard? Yeah. Written by Park Hoon-jung. Park Hoon-jung. What else he write, bro? He wrote The Witch Part 1.
Wait. He wrote The Witch?
The Witch Part 2.
Who wrote The Witch?
Yeah. Or it says he worked on it. I'm not sure if he wrote it or worked on it, but like Park Hoon-jung.
I'm not seeing The Witch. Why are you saying The Witch?
Let me see.
Oh, The Witch.
I just searched his name, bro.
Hold on, I love this movie. If it's the one that I'm thinking of.
Part 2. It's a Korean one.
It's an action film. Oh, it's sick. Yeah, I remember this movie is amazing, bruh.
Yeah.
At some point we'll have to watch this movie, and there's another film that we'll also watch.
Well, I mean, if you're watching this one, we have to watch both.
I've
There's
seen
part 1
1
and part 2.
I don't remember. I don't think I've seen part 2.
Perfect. Then we're gonna go on part 2 together.
Yes. It looks like it's gonna be a lot of Korean cinema in this channel, and I am here for it.
Listen, I'm a fan. I'm a fan. I got into. I mean, obviously, I'm not gonna talk about like back in the day when we were just getting the DVDs of all the action films. That's different. But like in my older years, when I'm like an actual fully formed brain, I think like everybody, in terms of like live action cinema and Korean stuff, I got into it with Parasite. And that's when I was like,
they know what they're doing.
My God. That's when I was like, let me actually put on my glasses and get comfortable and let me look at what you're all doing in here. Because with that film, that was revolutionary for me.
I mean, Parasite is any way around it, it's phenomenal.
Yeah, but that like, because now this was 2010. This was before that. A lot of films that I'm finding now predate Parasite. That just shows you that that's not the film that like started the trend of them making good cinema. They've always been making good films. Myself, as well as with the other how many millions of people in the world. You're
late to the party, mates, but you know what? Koreans, they're very welcoming. We're gonna have a good time. I've been watching.
We're gonna have a good time. I mean, bro, they've taken over in terms of like K-pop and like K-drama.
Yeah. The Villainous. That's the movie that we will watch at some point. Oh my God.
Write that down.
The Villainous. It will. Okay, here's what I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this without sounding like a hater.
You're gonna sound like a hater. Go for it.
The villainess would wipe the floor with John Wick, and I say that with confidence. That's what I'm gonna say.
Okay.
That's what I'm gonna say.
Okay.
And honestly, and like Hollywood tries to do the badass female, and they fail all the time. They should literally turn to Koreans, and the Koreans will give them the blueprint, because the villainess. She would. I say this with confidence, and also one of the fight scenes from John Wick was inspired by the films. You know, that's how I found out about it. Yeah, but I think I was watching the behind the scenes of John Wick 2 or John Wick 3, and they mentioned, and I was like, oh, let me check it out, and then, oh my god, and I was like, yeah.
You were like, oh
yes,
my god.
Anyway,
it's been opened. The floodgates have been opened. But yeah, bro, take us through the script. Break it down for us. Like, what was it like? What's the pacing like? The structure? Is it anything like we know in terms of like what we used to?
The thing with
the commercial Hollywood stuff.
I think one of the things that make, amongst many things, with something we touched on a couple of minutes ago, is that they don't necessarily do the conventional Hollywood script structure, but it's not that they don't. It's more like they don't do it in the way that we are used to, and I think it works because, particularly in this film, I remember watching it. Usually in a Hollywood script you would have, bruh, this is insane. Usually in a script you would have, okay, we have the opening scene, sure, and then we follow the main character. That's what happens in a typical film. We follow the main character, we see what's up with them, their lives, and then we see the goal that they want to have, and then we see the inciting incident, and then break to act 2, and then boom, we're going. We spend a good 15 minutes with the villain in this movie, and I'm like, yo! And I think
we actually spend some time with the villain.
And I think it works because the filmmaker was like, I want you to see how much of a piece of shit this guy is. And that's the function that his screen time served in the beginning. Because it's not romanticized or glamorized. It's just like, yeah, here's this guy, and you hate him, and you're gonna spend time with him. And also, I think that it works, one, especially in the first act, because we don't need to know much about the main character, the detective.
Yeah.
We don't need to know why he's working there, who he's working with, his normal life. Excuse me. But the beautiful thing is that
we don't even get to.
Yeah. But the beautiful thing is that we get a good glimpse of who he is as a person, because one, he's at the job, so works for some Secret Service thing. 2, he is a fiance to this lady. Okay, cool. 3, he really loves her because he goes to the bathroom and he sings a little bit, and you're like, so this is a genuine.
You get to see that.
Yeah, this is a genuine connection. And when the guy walks in, he tries to be macho, so it's like, okay, so he's like a guy. He doesn't want to, can't be caught slacking around your boys. So you gotta chill.
Yeah.
And so, for me, that works. Because usually, remember, I'm thinking of The Dark Knight. Remember The Dark Knight? The opening scene.
Yeah.
The first 5 minutes, it's the Joker and his people. And
the Joker, yeah.
And then at the end, what doesn't kill you makes you strange. And then, boom. That's the opening scene. But then we go back to Bruce Wayne, and then we see his life.
Yeah.
Here, we jump between, but then we spend a good time with the villain in your life. What's up with this guy? And I love that.
Yeah, because I think in the beginning, we sort of get they don't say there's the villain. We get a glimpse of the situation that's going on, and then we get a glimpse of the detective's life. Like you mentioned, they don't tell us his backstory. They just show us based on visuals too.
Yeah.
Like the earpiece, the suit. It's like that alone tells us, okay, this person is in either like Secret Service, working for the government, either like protecting like the Prime Minister or something like that. Just with the visuals alone.
Yes.
And then with, like you mentioned, with the conversation on the phone, just telling her that it's gonna be okay, telling her that, telling her in the conversation, showing that he cares, going to the bathroom to sing, showing that there's a softer side of him.
Bruh.
Like, we don't get like a flashback to when they met. None of that. All in that one situation, we get everything in that we need to know about them, which is pretty cool.
And it's a sign of confident writing. It's like, I'm gonna show the audience what they need, and I know that they're gonna piece together the necessary information. We don't need to know exactly who he's looking for and why. Is it relevant to the story?
Yeah.
No. So move away.
Nope.
Show them what they need, and then we know. Actually, because of that, because of the little information they give us, when he first meets the killer, the serial killer, we anticipate that he's gonna whoop some ass, and that's like almost 40 minutes later. Imagine,
bro.
Which I think, because if you think about it, because as you're saying, in Hollywood, okay, he kills the guy, he kills the girl, he searches for the clues. I bet you not. In minute 20, right? In minute 20 or minute 18, that's when he will meet the guy, and then blah 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 blah. There'll be the break into Act 2. Then midpoint, he runs away. The killer runs away. And like, oh no, what's gonna happen? And then he dies at the end. But I love that they show us the detective's determination to find this man, which I think falls into the first act, because otherwise it wouldn't have been as effective when he finally finds the guy, because the stuff he does to the other people is still messed up, and like, oh he actually means business.
Because what's messed up is that he doesn't, because he's like, and when first of all, they find the fiance's body in a gruesome manner. That's just first of all. And when they investigate, there's like, okay, these are the 4 suspects, right? Which is another thing, but we'll talk about that in the theme. But like, these are the 4 suspects, and he doesn't go and investigate and like, maybe not this one, maybe not. No, he goes to each of them, beats the living shit out of each of them. He doesn't like, so you're the one, oh, you're not the one, oh yeah, cool, I'm gonna go with someone else. No. You might not be the guy I'm looking for, but you're still a scumbag.
You still did some things.
You still do some things. So I'm gonna have to fuck you up.
Here's a little bit of, just not the full version, but hey, there you go.
There you go. I'm like, that was actually, you know what? It showed his determination, like you mentioned. Like, it actually gave us a glimpse of what he would do to the actual guy when he found him. Yeah. Which is why it sort of put the whole, like, the typical writing thing on its heel. Because typically, like you mentioned, they'd meet, the hero would meet the villain, and then something happens. Either the villain escapes or the villain overpowers and he has to go back to get some training or something. And they meet again towards, like, in the final act, and that's when he eventually defeats him. Here, you go in expecting that because of what he's done to the first and second guy. Yeah. So when he goes to the third guy, you expect him to always found him. Oh, okay, then it's gonna be action.
Let's go.
But then if they just flip it on its head.
I would say that it's how I'm gonna say this. I love how the writing in this film, I would say in Korean films as well. Korean cinema doesn't shy away from the uncomfortable stuff. They don't shy away from the gruesome, the sad.
Yeah.
They will have a whole, and sometimes they would have a whole, not necessarily whole sequence, but like a storyline that is like, you're gonna spend minutes with this guy that is a piece of shit, and we're not gonna, make you feel heroic with only following the hero, because that would be the usual way, because it's like, okay, yes, you want to go to the movies because you want to experience things, but generally you would at least want to feel, most of the time you want to feel good.
You definitely want to feel good.
Yeah. And if
But and I'm gonna speak on this when I touch the themes of the film, because they do something here that I did not like.
Yes.
But I think it was good for the film because it made it that more impactful.
That's what I love about it. It's the fact that for me, a movie experience shouldn't only give you like sugar. Sometimes it give you something horrible. For example, let's take. I'm trying to think of any movie, for example, a movie that we've talked about, or any movie. So, John Wick. Since we were mentioning John Wick with the villains, John Wick, we get the opening scene. Helen dies. John, the dog. When they come and kill the dog, right? For example, yes.
Yeah.
In John Wick, when they kill the dog, the dog dies. It's over there. It's way over there. Camera is focused on John Wick. The dog is dying over there, and then the guys leave. And then when we fade back, the dog is lying next to him, and then he buries the dog, and then we move on. That's the thing. We're gonna give you dosages of sadness or of the uncomfortable, but we're gonna move past it real quickly. If this guy directed John Wick, we would have seen the dog die. We would have seen the guy bash the dog. We would have lingered on the dog on a close-up for like good.
Wait, real quick, was John Wick rated 18?
Definitely not family.
Yeah, but I feel like if this guy directed John Wick, it would be R-rated. Like heavily R-rated.
Yes.
For violence.
But I think for me, the R rating is not. Here's the thing. Something you mentioned. The R rating in this movie is not necessarily used for shock value or for the mere fact that it's R rated. It's used as a story element to really go to your feelings. It's not just because it's R rated. No. Like some scenes, bro, you're like, okay, we could have been okay with not seeing that because we understand what it's alluding to. But because of the R rating, it's like we're gonna show you because we're gonna make you uncomfortable because the situation that this person is in is uncomfortable. Because sometimes we can be like seeing something happen to a character, but we can still not be connected to it because at the end of the day,
I mean, I feel like in this film, the R rating stands for real.
Yes. Which is,
and they take it there.
It kind of reminds me of. Remember in the scene in Babel where with the detective and the little girl. How the director just lingered there and didn't cut so much, and they're like, "Sir, stop! Go away right now!" And the scene just kept going, and you're like, "Oh no, I don't want to be here." I think that's those great directors, they know how to use discomfort as a story element to the viewer, not just
they definitely
we have permission to show violence, let's show it, and boom. Which I think is worked beautifully.
And another thing about the two things I want to touch on before we move on to the themes, the pacing and the structure. Bro, the pacing of this film, for a film that's 2 hours and like about 2 hours and 15, I think, it's very well paced.
Yes.
Because everything, like the action keeps escalating slightly, but it escalates in a way that doesn't feel repetitive as well.
Yes.
It just, the intensity just gets like a little bit more, and then at some point it just pours on intensity, like whoa.
And they know how to keep you waiting. That's the thing. Because great pace comes at being able to hold the patience. The audience's attention while they're waiting for something to happen. And here, they make you wait, but at the same time, you are there. You don't give up on it. Especially, those moments where the killer is doing something to a lady and the detective is going there. You're like, my guy, get there already! Can you please stop trying to be cool and walk run, nigga, he's gonna kill that girl.
Yeah.
And you're
Yeah.
like, oh no. Oh, it's
Bruh.
gonna happen again. Oh no. And then he gets there. That's great pacing. Because it could have been like wham bam.
Yeah.
Oh no, he's running, he's there. Or it would have been too slow and not realistic. But it's also the thing that's sort of made me realize that the pacing of the film is good is because you remember when he first captures the guy. Not when he first captures the guy, when he
Yeah.
What's that scene? There's a scene at oh yeah, it's when he's captured him and they're back at the hospital. Where he hears that there's a pill involved in the thing. When he leaves the hospital, that's sort of like the third act. When he leaves the hospital and phone calls, that's where the pace feels like it's picking up because now it's almost like now it's real because he knows. But because of all
the stakes are higher.
But it's because of all the momentum that has been built up. Because at the audience we're like, I hope he doesn't find out. I hope he doesn't find out. I hope he doesn't find out. And when he does find out, it's at the right moment. It's not too late and it's not too soon.
Yeah.
Because if it was too late,
Not too early. Yeah, I agree.
Rushed to wrap up the movie. If it was too soon, it would have completely collapsed the story. But it's like, now he knows what else.
Now he knows. Yeah, I 100% agree with that because it brings me to a part of the structure that I wanted to speak about of this film. Because I feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like this film has, it doesn't have like one big climax. I feel like it has multiple intense confrontations that could be a climax, but because it doesn't fully get there and the director's like, no, there's more coming. And it's like, he gets to that final one at the right time. Because like you said, had he done it too early or later, would have felt odd. But like, he'll give us like a multiple intense confrontations that could be a climax, but they end up not being. And that final one is like, oh shit.
Yeah. And the way, not only the way, but how the final climax, it was so perfect because all the big things happened before the movie. All the big fights and they happened during the movie. There were the exciting actions. The last climax of the film where he has the killer chained up with the chainsaw. It's almost opposite. It's not high octane action. It's just literally just a conversation, which is not the usual way they do things. It's not.
Yeah, there's no CGI high action sequence. Just a conversation. And it's intense.
What's gonna happen? Is he gonna kill him or is he not? And I love how the ending is like, it's not a happy ending.
Bro, the ending
That's
is
my
brutal.
favorite.
In different levels.
For me, that's my favorite part of the movie.
Different levels, bro.
Which is interesting because I'm reading a book on. There's this guy who wrote a book. I forgot his name. Hold on. Robert McKee. Yeah, in his book, he's like people have almost steered away from the heroic hero to more pessimistic films, and it's like it's not that they moved away. It's that sometimes that's the kind of story that you want to tell. Sometimes the story is things just happen, and at the end you're not happy.
Things just happen.
Because at the end he breaks down, and you're like, oh, he's sad, and then you're like, goodbye. It's like, oh,
that's it. Yeah, bro. I wanna touch on the themes of this film because I feel like we were sort of talking around it. Like when I was going through it, there's a few things that I sort of thought about. But like they all in a way sort of bleed into each other, because the first thing is like, okay, right now we definitely talking about the like justice versus vengeance. Like where is the line between like going like where is revenge justified in this instance, or are your actions too far? You know, like you're just towing that line, and then we've got another one where it's like, okay, now we're just perpetuating a cycle of violence.
Yeah.
Right. And that's like I feel like that's one of the key messages in this film, is that like violence brings up more violence. What's that term? Violence begets more violence, I think, something like that. It's a thing. I'm sure it's a thing somewhere. I feel like it's a thing. This man. But I feel like with those two, right? When we started, at first it's like, okay, it's this righteous agent who's like, this is an agent. He's fully in the right to go and like get justice over this dude that's this like a villain that we just saw, right? He's in the right. But then by the end, with everything he's done, it leaves us as the audience like, did he have to do all of that though?
Like,
whereas the actions,
it's like
Hey,
it's like you can have vengeance, but it comes at a price, because there are consequences. And then when those consequences are people who didn't do anything, or harmless people not involved, they're getting hurt, then it's like, okay.
Yeah, because that's when I was like, my guy, there were ways, like, because what I like about this film and the writing is that, especially with themes, like at first we are fully on his side, but by the end, it's like because it's like they play the detective plays like this game of cat and mouse, and what he does is he catches him, hurts him a lot, then releases him. And then because he's got a tracker in him, he knows he'll just follow him and catch him again, torture him some more, release him. And there's this cat and mouse game. But because of this violence that he keeps doing, it's like the at the end of the day, the person he's doing this to is a monster. So he's gonna retaliate in a violent way. And when he does retaliate, it's like, bruh, now innocent people are getting hurt by this. Now you're at the end of the day, it's like your actions are backfiring, and it's like causing a lot of more innocent deaths by this cycle that you're perpetuating.
And I love how they showed that, because it could have easily been, oh, he's the good guy, or his actions don't have much consequence because we want you to be on his side. But the filmmakers are like, we're gonna show you all the sides, and you decide whether this is right or wrong. They're not saying, hey, this guy's in the right for doing this. Yeah.
They're not saying that at all. Yes. We assumed that at the beginning, but the director never said that.
And he made sure to show, almost like I'm gonna show you the terrible side of the killer, him doing things. I'm gonna show you the side of the detective, him doing things. I'm gonna show you those sides equally,
bro. And that's one. Yeah, that's one of the themes that I saw, is that it's basically dehumanizing both of them. Because first of all, the villain, he already comes in at like a very dehumanized way. Like he's already starting off with a ground bottom. Like he starts off as a monster, right? So he kills for pleasure at that point. He's so like we start off on the side of the detective because of how badly we're introduced to the killer. So he's already dehumanized. But then as we watch the detective go through his vengeance, and we stay through these scenes, we slowly start to see how emotionless and cruel he can be, as well as the guy seeking revenge. And it forces us then to confront ourselves and like, this dude is kind of becoming a monster as well.
Because even the guy at the table at that house says, like, when you killed her fiance, a monster was created. And he's hearing all of this, and it's like, oh, this guy see me as a monster, but I am not a monster. They are the monster.
Because he starts to reject the reality of what he's become. Because it's the first time someone actually says it out loud to him.
It's like,
what do you? To him, it's like, what do you mean I'm a monster? You guys are the monster. But then it's like, if you are, my guy, you are enjoying hurting someone and causing them pain.
You're basically playing a game with him, doing it for sport.
But I'm gonna say something controversial here. I'm gonna say it's controversial.
Yeah.
With all,
Talk to me.
by the way, I will never ever do this in my life. Let me start by saying this. I will.
Okay.
I hope I never do it in my
Yeah.
life. You know, like a future holds. I'm kidding. I will never do something like this in my life. But, in methods of exerting revenge, this one is my favorite. There it is. Cause here's why. I don't believe that killing someone is revenge. Because death is not a thing. That is not a thing that a person can experience. Death is nothingness. So when you kill them, you say you're not gonna feel anything for the rest of your life. Which to me is unfair. Because it's like, well, that's not pain. Death is nothingness. So catching them and releasing and causing that paranoia and fear and pain is a good way. But this guy is a psychopath. He does not experience fear. So it's wasted on this man. But in methods of exerting revenge, this one right here goes into my books. That's what I'm gonna say.
I'm gonna say something extra controversial.
There we go.
I agree with you.
No
but. I don't like his. No, there's a but. I don't think he thought it through. Because I would do the exact same thing, only I'd put him in like a deserted jungle. So he wakes up in an unfamiliar location, tries to escape, and when he thinks he's like, oh, I'm finding civilization, catch him again. Put him in a different unfamiliar location with no one around.
See, that's my thing as well.
You know,
because he has
repeat that
opportunities
cycle
to hurt other people. And now...
Yes, that's the part I didn't like. Because you put him in... Yeah.
Now those people's blood is in your head.
But I guess he did say he underestimated him.
Which is a testament, again, to the writing that is like, okay, there's... Like, it's nice to see characters have, like, flawed plans, and we see them see that, oh, this plan wasn't actually that great. And they learn from that.
Yeah.
Which is something that I had against people who did not like the latest Batman movie. They're like, oh, this Batman is not that great. It's only been 2 years. He's learning. You don't want to see someone grow, and they're like, oh, no, Batman is supposed to be. I'm like, shut up. That's good writing right there. If you see someone
need to talk
weak
about that from at some point. Yeah, it's really good writing.
What are you doing?
Yeah. Bro, this film, like, it makes us questions whether us as people, as humans, right, when faced with, like, evil, pure evil, what would our choices be? And like we just said, we agree with his choices, just that we would have done it a different way. So does that, in a way, make us monsters as well?
Because here's my thing.
Yeah.
This is something that I learned from a directing actor's book, which kind of messed me up a little bit, but it's true. It said that, I'm not quoting, but it says every human feeling and emotion that any human has ever experienced, we all have the capacity to experience that. Just because you have never killed someone does not mean that you would never kill someone. That's so untrue. Just because you've never felt like this does not mean that you can never experience it. So, you know when J. Cole said everybody is a killer, all I gotta do is push him to the limbs, he was not lying.
He was not lying. He really was not lying. I mean, like the Joker said, all it takes is one bad day.
So we all have that monster inside us, and your job as a person is to keep that monster inside for as long as possible until you die.
Yes, which is also why this film is so brilliant, but also like I didn't like it because it forces you to confront that side of you,
the unpretty side.
It forces you to watch it play out, and then like wrestle with the decisions he's making, because part of you like agrees and initially like, yeah, make him suffer. But then when it's like, these actions are actually causing a lot more harm. Because like initially he begins with like following, like being like, even though he's violent with like things, but he's like an enforcer, because the first guy beats him up, sure, but then he makes him turn himself into the police. At the end of the day, he's still going to the law. But then he then becomes a torturer, where he's like, nah, screw the law. I'ma do things myself. I'm good. Bro, when he caught him the second time, what he did to his ankle,
bro, the Achilles.
what he did to his ankle, I was like, oh, you.
But for me,
That
guy, torture him as much as possible. I agree with that torture.
Yes.
To that guy, to that piece of shit,
but like,
cut both of his Achilles. Cut his whatever heels he has. Hades, Hercules, whatever Al does. Cut them all.
All of the he's.
Capacities. But also,
bro,
speaking with like the monster thing, it's also like, you know those scenes where the killer is like assaulting the women, right? And we were talking about how the director just lingers on those scenes, and you're like, can we not watch this? But the thing about those scenes is like, you as an audience are uncomfortable just watching. Imagine the person in the situation. So now you're like, oh, I don't want to see this because it makes me uncomfortable. Oh, so you're like, so you're just gonna pretend this is not. You're like, I like it, but I don't like it because it's making me uncomfortable. So move on. It's almost like you're being ignorant to the things that because they. Oh, so now that it's affecting you, suddenly it's not good. It was fine. Yeah.
Suddenly you don't want to see it.
Cutting back and forth. Yeah. To get out, you'll be like, oh, that was so sad. Actually, yeah. Because if you hinted at a scene of the lady getting assaulted, we would have been like, oh man, that's so sad. She shouldn't have done that. But because we saw the things, we're like, this is. Why did you show us that? Exactly that. Why would you show me that? Now I'm feeling bad. I don't want to feel bad. Now it's like, look who's talking. But I think it's a.
You know what it does? This movie gets us off our high horse. Because we like to sit on with like in our ignorance and like, sure, we know what in the back of our heads, like terrible things happen in the world. Yeah, we know it. Like we can get a glimpse, get a headline, blah blah. But we're not gonna read the story. We're not gonna go into the details. Yeah. This movie's like, no, watch it happen in HD, and we're like, bro, please, no.
I don't want to see this right now.
It's like, I thought you didn't agree. I thought you felt bad. Then watch it happen.
Oh, is this uncomfortable for you?
Like, is this uncomfortable for you? Oh, look at the bro.
Yeah, no. Because it's and the crazy thing about that is that it's you know, I mean, obviously it's a movie, so you know the bad guy, the good guy, and you know, save the day, but in this movie you don't know that. At the back of your mind, you're like, oh my god, bro, is he gonna be late? Is he
actually
because we've seen him do it, so I was like,
bro,
is he gonna? And then he doesn't.
It's but like it's one of those things where we're watching cruelty happen, and we don't want we want to look away, but we can't, and at the same time, we're watching the guy that's supposed to be our hero be consumed by his own cruelty.
And it's like how far is too far? Which I think, technically he didn't go too far. It's only because the killer was hurting other people that we question him. Yeah, he didn't do much actually. He broke his ankle with Achilles. You see, he didn't do much to him, but the consequences was so much.
Yeah, but it's also it's that, but it also like, imagine you're a human person, well, you are a human person, but like you are faced with this and you have to cut flesh off of another human being. Like, in theory we can think about that and we can be like, yeah, he deserved it in theory, but think of it practically. You are there, He's screaming for his life, and you are cutting a
that's the
huge
thing.
chunk
That's the
of
thing.
muscle. You, bruh.
And it's one of those
I
moments
get-
where, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I get punching someone. Yeah,
Quick, wham, wham.
yeah, punching. Sure, you're cutting this flesh.
It's one of
bro.
those things where it's sort of like the beauty of movies or any other form of cinema arts in general, where we can watch someone live out our darkest fantasies because we can never do that. It's like, oh
Yeah.
man, if I was in that situation, I'll beat a nigga up. But now we know. Shut up. You're not gonna do that. Shut up. But it's nice to see someone
Nah.
be brave enough to do it, which is good old fashioned.
Yes.
Because if you, it's like if you create when you're writing, you must create empathy for your character, which means the audience doesn't always have to agree, but they have to understand why they're doing what they're doing. And this film,
Yeah.
it tiptoes, it blurs the agree area. That's what it does. It blurs the agree
Yeah, it
versus understand. Because yes, we understand why he's doing that, but the agree. Because sometimes you can be like, okay, you shouldn't have done that, but I get it. But I get it. Or
Yeah.
nah, he shouldn't have done
Yeah.
that. I know he was angry, but he shouldn't have done that. Yeah.
You shouldn't have done that. Yeah. But yeah, bro, I agree with you, and I think it goes to like another thing. You know how with typical revenge films, it's like obviously something horrible happens to our main character, and then he goes through this revenge thing, and there's a psychological toll that is typically attached to that. Well, let's use John Wick as a good
Okay.
example, right? Murder dog, and gets him back in retirement, and he goes up the chain, killing until he gets to the main person he's after, right? And then at the end, there's some sort of catharsis, if you'd say, like some sort of closure that like the protagonist finds. Whereas here, unlike these other like revenge thrillers, So-hoon, he ends up emotionally
Yes.
devastated. It goes the total opposite of what you might expect from our hero to feel. And I think, I don't know, is it him facing the cruelty he's had to endure, or what his actions ended up causing, like him underestimating him end up causing a lot more violence and end up having a lot more other people getting hurt. I don't know what, but he ends up devastated, breaking down even.
That's one of the beauties of that ending, because we can make up theories on why he's crying like that. Because I would say, like, I think he's crying because he's realizing that it's never gonna change anything. But also on the other hand, like, he's crying because, like, it feels like that's the first time he's letting it out. Like in moments he cries, but he quickly gathers himself. He cries a little bit, but he quickly gathers himself.
Yeah.
And at the end of the movie, he killed that person, but then that's when the pain is rushing back. Like, oh, she's really gone, bro. Because now he has nothing positive to look forward to. Because the positivity was catching that guy. Now that guy is gone. The pain is like, okay, I'm still here, buddy. And it's like,
Hey, buddy, I'm still here.
and I love how literally when he's crying at the end, the camera moves away from him. It's almost like the director is telling us that it was all for nothing. Like, he's just by himself again. As the audience we move away, we're like, like we're becoming distant from a person we just watched
Yes.
for 2 hours. Like, that's it. It's almost like the movie's like, well, sometimes you don't win, and it ends, and you're still devastated, and the camera,
True. I mean, it's like I think it's a typical. Sure, you killed him, like you won the fight, but
like,
didn't win the war.
it's nothing.
because this scar is gonna live with you forever.
Because I think it would have been different if, for example, I'm trying to think of anything. Yes, I'm trying to think of Shawshank Redemption, when that guy is free and he's kneeling and the camera's heading away and we see him in the rain. That shot moving away is positive because it's symbolizing his freedom. He's finally free and we see all the space around him. But here, the camera, because also it not only dollies away, but it also becomes blurry. Yeah, and it's almost
It does.
We literally almost see distancing ourselves from this person, but also like hinting at his psychology, like at the end of the day, you didn't win. Like you didn't win. So the camera's like making him small to show that you're still small. Like it would have been like in John Wick when he, for example, when he walks like in his badass and like in the rain, or he has a dog and he's walking, or he's like I'll kill them all, and so there's a close up of everything. But here, the camera is moving away like emotionally. There is no satisfaction to what you've just did.
Yes. Yes. I think it's like, yeah, you won in terms of the fight, but like you're left with nothing but guilt. You're left with emotion. You still shattered. Like there's the guilt of not being there for your fiance to begin with, and there's guilt of like you took this so far that you end up getting other people hurt. There's so much. He's just shattered. Like, but you know what it is? At the end of this film, there's no celebration or sigh of relief or anything. It's just emptiness, and we're just moving away from it.
Yeah. And for a movie to end like that, it's pretty ballsy. Because
we're not ending on a high note.
And it's not. Because you know how sometimes, even though the movie ending is sad, there's a. I'm trying to think of a movie where someone like sacrifices themselves and it's like, oh, I'm glad. For example, the last John Wick, he dies at the end. As the audience, we're like, oh, that's funny, over. He fought a good fight and he won at the end and he died.
Yeah.
And as audience, we're like, whew. It's almost like a relief that the fight is over for John and it's closed. And symbolically, his death is like his ultimate escape from the item. So the death is good. Yes,
he's finally free.
Death is bad. Here, he is alive, but it's literally a negative. There's no hint of positivity here. Zero. It's not like, oh, he died, but he saved the community and they'll live happily ever after. No. Oh, he died for a good cause.
Nope.
He lived here and the serial killer died, but there's literally nothing. There's no reward for what he did. And that's I love that.
Yeah. No, I agree. Bro, this is one of those. It's I don't know, man. It makes us wrestle with a lot, but that's a very, like you mentioned, it's a very, very ballsy way to end the film. Very ballsy way to end the film. But bro, I was wondering one thing I wanted to talk about. We talked about the detective quite a bit, but like the title of the film is I Saw the Devil.
I was about to say I have not. I was thinking about that when I was watching the movie. I'm like, who is the devil? What is the title referencing? I have no idea. And also usually a title will be like, so for example, if a title like this, it would be like,
is someone saying the title, right? Or
something happens in the movie. If a movie is called Scream, we know it's alluding to people screaming when they're getting murdered. If it's called The Lion King, it's literally the lion cub becoming
the lion who's a king.
But here, I saw the devil. Who is the I? And who is the devil?
Yeah. So part of me was thinking it applies to both of them, right? Because it could be the detective, like, once he saw how insane this person actually is, how psychotic he is, like, this man is actually a devil. Whereas from the other side, at the end when the serial killer is like bound and like that final thing's happening, he could be thinking it to himself as well, like, this guy's the devil. He's worse than me. So I think it could apply to both in a way.
Because imagine orchestrating a man's murder in such a way that when his parents and son walk in,
when his son opens the door, he kills him. No, wait, hold up. Remove this film from your head. Right? And just listen to this part. I know you've seen it, just listen to this. What the fuck, bro? You orchestrate a murder. You this is what you do. You're basically orchestrating a murder. You've got a man tied up. There's a guillotine aimed at his neck. And the rope that lets it down is tied to two things. One of the things is his teeth. So if he lets go of his teeth, the rope falls and the guillotine cuts him. The rope that is tied to his teeth is also tied to the door. So if someone opens that door, it's gonna force him to let go of the rope from his mouth. Guillotine cuts his head. And he makes it so that his parents and his son are the ones that are going to open that door that will kill him. And he has to try and tell them not to open the door while the rope is tied to his mouth. So he can't let go. Bro, tell me that is not evil.
But this man is a serial killer.
No. Forget that that's a serial killer.
I mean, obviously, forgetting that he's a serial
evil.
killer, that is some medieval torturing method right there.
Because okay, so fine, sure, he's a serial killer. That's fine. Okay, he's a serial killer. There's a bit of justification there. Are you still saying it's fine for a kid?
See, that's what I was about to say.
I think
that's
that kid's barely 16.
He does not know
15.
his father's
So
serial
your
killer.
first thing is to see your dad's.
But also,
and the first thing you see is see the
imagine
head rolling.
It's so messed up because imagine the trauma of seeing your father's head dying and then finding out that man was a serial killer. That's like double homicide right there.
Trauma.
It will mess up your whole, because like
no. What's the worst is what if the kid was the one that opened the door? Because it's like you just found your dad's head. You might have been the one that killed him because your dad was alive 10 seconds ago.
For all I
killed
know,
him.
My dad is living at that town away.
Sure, he doesn't come visit because typical single dads, whatever the case may be. So the one time I go see him, I pull a door and his head gets chopped off. And then he was a serial killer. And then I killed him. And then he wasn't in my life. What?
That you need 20 years of therapy for that. There's no ifs and buts about it.
I would say my interpretation of the title, it seems like you were saying it's both because the detective saw the serial killer as the devil, and at the end the serial killer saw him and was like, damn, this guy's messed up. You're a psycho, man. He literally says that like this guy's a psycho. And I'm like, at first I'm like, you're the psycho, but at the end it's like, okay, yeah, he's a psycho. But how I see it, it's almost like the devil is at play with these two people, and we as the audience,
I see that,
seeing the devil's work, and it's like, he's just infiltrating this guy and everyone, and we at the end they are all the devil, and it's like. That's why there's no win.
You know what?
Because if there was some sort of win, it would imply that the devil won. And I think there's another thematic layer which says like at the end, like evil never wins, no matter how you try to look at it. And we can celebrate John Wick and killing people, but at what cost? But those movies are entertaining, and we don't talk about that. Here, they don't try to be entertaining in that way. It's like, the devil is here, and he works.
No, I actually agree with that. I think that's a good way of seeing it. It's like we as the audience, we saw the devil at work, and that's why at the end we did not feel good about it. There was no,
and it's a good thing that I think it's a good thing that they made us question, like, the detective at some point. I mean, you can argue that, hey man, look, the person is evil. He's an actual. He didn't just kill a puppy. This man is a serial killer. Like, and to me, those are one of the worst people to ever exist, right? Undoubtedly.
Yes. Not just to you, to most people. Like, yeah, don't just
contrary
say
to popular belief, I think serial killers are not cool. That's just me. That's not cool, serial killers.
Not cool.
But no, not but yet. And because he's a serial killer, most people would agree that serial killers deserve the worst punishment ever. And while some may argue that sending them to prison or is not enough, or killing them is not enough, these people must suffer revenge. Yeah. Revenge is not an inherently good thing. That's the thing.
Yes.
It's like it's a construct, or it's an emotion that we have to try to justify doing something evil to a person because we think that's going to make us feel good because they deserve the pain. But it's inherently by itself, it's never a good thing. But when it's done to people, who are evil like this, we feel like,
we feel justified.
But when the person who's doing the thing starts to show signs of the person who was evil in the first place, now it's like, hey, yo, hey, what does it say about me? Like,
because we were on your side. We supported this. Like, what are you trying to say, my dude?
Like, we were supporting you, but like now it's like you're not thinking about anyone else right now, but you.
Yeah, because he's prolonging the revenge, or prolonging the suffering of this guy for his own satisfaction, right? Making it in a way sadistic, and it's also in a way for us like, he deserves it, and then at the end it's like, wait, did I support that?
Like the poor pharmacist, he didn't deserve to die. He was just doing his job.
Bro,
the detective and his daughter, they didn't deserve that kind of pain. They were,
Bro, the chief, like, he's almost father-in-law.
That guy, that lady who almost got assaulted at the clinic, she didn't deserve that. I mean, she survived, but as a lady experiencing that kind of torture is enough on its own to freak you out for a couple of years.
Bro, you know what the director did? Like, in the beginning, he always showed us all of the acts, like all of the sexual acts and like the violence that this guy does to women, right? He always did that. And a lot of the violence he does to like other guys, even in the cab. When you remember, he got in the cab and then he realized he's in the cab with like killers, and then they were like, you're lucky, and then he was like, nah, you guys are unlucky, and then he just started stabbing them. First of all, that stabbing scene went on,
but also it was massively shot,
like you mentioned.
It was listen. In the themes of this movie are so good that I forgot to talk about the technical side. But speaking of that stabbing scene, holy shit, that camera rotation, oh, bro, spectacular. They did it in Equalizer Part 2. But I was like, oh man, you guys should check out the one from I Saw the Devil, because that was amazing. That was flawless.
Beautifully shot.
It was like,
so the violence there, it was like, because he just kept going, and the camera was just following it perfectly. But the reason where I'm going with this, just to like finish off the thematic part, is that, so he keeps doing that. We keep seeing a lot of the gruesome violence, even at the end when he figures out that, and he poops out the fact that we actually got to see poop was
it's like
diarrhea, basically. Anyway,
we know
poops out the tracker.
You didn't have to show us the poop with the toilet, man. But the director's like, nah, you guys want to see everything, right? Let's go.
And then he finds, because then he realizes who the person is, who he killed. He's like, okay, because of the ring. He goes to the father-in-law's house. He finds him there, beats the crap out of him, leaves him damn near death, and then when that was happening, the other sister, his now deceased fiance's sister, rocks up, and
bruh.
we're like, no,
Immediately, we're
Why
like,
did he-
oh no.
no. And then what I like about it is that this time they don't show us what he does to her, but then how he leaves her at the end. I feel like that in itself, because of what the director has shown us before, now our brains are like, what the fuck did he do? Because he's shown us this man chopping off arms, heads,
Like we don't
being
doubt anything.
violently sexual.
We don't second guess anything.
No, we know. We don't second guess. We
100%.
know. We know. We know. And the fact that at the end he rocks up at the police station, he's not wearing pants anymore. He's got the knife. He's covered in blood. We know.
I didn't even peep the no pants parts. God damn.
We know.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
He's not wearing pants.
Damn.
He's just in his boxers. Because remember, like with the nurse, he wanted, because like first of all with the schoolgirl, he wanted to like rape her, and then with the nurse, he wanted the same thing. So he kept stopping her, those things. And the one time he actually gets to do it is with the almost sister-in-law.
But it's awesome how the director knows what to show and what not to show. And as you're saying, all this time we've been seeing things, and then we're like, oh crap. Oh no. Also, I just want to say, a freaking dumbbell to the face, that's gotta hurt, man. I know there's knives and everything,
Did you
but
see
a
his-
dumbbell to the face? Woo.
Did you see his face? It was almost like he was getting ironed. His skull was flattening out.
I luckily wonder how they shoot such scenes.
That's just
I mean, obviously they have
brutal.
prop things that they're not heavy and violent.
Yeah.
Damn.
And the budget was actually pretty low. I think it was about 3 million.
Shout out
something
to
like
the
that,
budget.
4 million. Yeah, the budget was very low. I don't know the exact number, but I remember it being quite 6 mil. But still,
To get that
pretty low.
out of 6 mil. But also, the type of like blood squirts that we're using, they made sure that we're gonna use the 6 million. 'Cause They didn't
Yeah,
mess
yeah,
around.
yeah.
Half the budget went to the blood. I'm convinced. 'Cause they
I think it's the blood and the prosthetics, because like they were
Yes.
chopping up bodies. And I remember in the first scene, I'm like, I see half of the chest, I see an arm, I see an elbow. These things are all detached. I see a hand. I'm like, why? First of all, why are you showing me this? Secondly, why does that look?
That's the
very
thing.
real?
Why does it look so real? Even the head, when they find the head in the river, bruh.
And then the river, yo,
That scene on its own.
ah,
is
bro,
Because the head
yeah,
rolls and he sees it for a bit, and then he's like, you can see, bruh. We haven't even talked about the acting. So phenomenal. But you can see when it hits him. Like he pauses, and then his head moves a bit, and he's like,
yeah,
wait a minute, did I just see what I just think I saw? And then he moves the second time, and then it hits him like, that's my fiance. And then it breaks down a little bit,
oof,
but then he carries himself. It's I think performances in the film. are
Yeah.
tremendous. For a minute.
it is. Listen, real quick, let's hit some of our final thoughts, and then after that we'll continue, because we still have a lot of stuff to speak about, like the directing, the acting, some of the cinematography. But that extended version we're gonna post on the Patreon. But for now, let's just give our final thoughts. But if you want to know like the rest, if you want to listen to the rest of the conversation, listen to the rest of what you say, please join our Patreon. It's actually it's free, so you can just tune in and listen to the rest here. But yeah, I want to say my final thoughts on this, man. I don't. Unlike a lot of like the revenge films we've seen, this film, I Saw the Devil, is like, it's tragic, and it's a self-destructive cycle, I think.
Okay, yeah.
It's like it gets us to question a lot, but it's like the more we will continue watching, the more we continue in the cycle, it's like the further down we go into our own destruction of our own views, of our own moral high ground, I think.
Which is not a lot of movies do that.
Yeah.
My final thoughts.
What are your final thoughts?
My final thoughts would be like it's just painful. I love how painful it
Yes.
is, and I love how painful it is, and how painful it feels. Because it is painful.
I agree with that.
From the detective's point of view, from all those innocent ladies' point of view, from the people who got collateral based on the decisions. It's just very painful.
It is. It really is.
But love it nonetheless.
Yeah, but this is a really great film. I mean, like you mentioned earlier, we're gonna be looking at quite a bit of Korean cinema. This is something there, man.
Something
There's
Korean.
something there.
They have that secret spice.
There's something in the water. I think there's something in the water there, man.
I swear I won't tell.
But yeah.
I had to say
Something in the water. But I think for now this is gonna be it.
Once again. We'll have you.
We shall catch you in the next one. Alright, peace.